Welcome to our new unit. In this unit, we will be investigating the algal bloom in Lake Temescal. And in our journey, we have two stops. The first stop is a review of systems. And in our second stop, we're going to use a graphic organizer I designed to help you generate scientific questions. So let's go ahead and get a glance at the investigation we will be anchoring our unit to.
Algae is being blamed for the closure of a popular Oakland lake. KPIX5's Jessica Flores shows us what to watch out for.
Swimmers beware. Toxic algae is in bloom here at Lake Temescal, forcing park officials to put these signs up and caution tape all around to keep people and pets out. East Bay Regional Park District officials say the bacteria is naturally occurring, usually due to warm weather conditions, but dangerous for humans and pets. It can make people vomit and can kill dogs that drink the water. Does it make you nervous walking close to the lake knowing that the water is toxic right now?
Yes, I actually have to hold my dog back because many times he likes to take a drink, but he cannot.
This isn't the first East Bay lake forced to close because of contaminated waters. Blue-green algae closed the swim area of quarried lakes earlier this year. Park officials say Lake Temescal will stay closed as long as tests continue to show unsafe levels of the algae. Reporting in Oakland, I'm Jessica Flores, KPIX5.
So the first thing we want to do in our investigation is go over systems. So systems are made up of components that work together to perform a specific function. Scientists divide the world into systems so they can study smaller pieces closely. So I like to think of systems as a puzzle, right? And each puzzle piece represents a component. And they work together to make sure that the system performs its function, its job. So when we discuss and investigate Lake Temescal, we need to remind ourselves that we are looking at a system and it has many components. So some basic components of a lake ecosystem include plants, fish, turtles, zooplankton, aquatic insects, algae, bacteria, worms, frogs, water, rocks, and extra nutrients. And I have added a visual so you can see the extra nutrients, which tend to be phosphorus and nitrogen, and it's just so difficult to see. But I wanted to make it visible for you for this situation. So they are the little squares inside the water. So now that we've reviewed what a system is, and we have looked at the lake ecosystem specifically, let's go ahead and turn our attention to the graphic organizer you will be using to generate some scientific questions. So in the past, I would ask my students to generate some science questions in the beginning of the unit, and I noticed that they really struggled because they got stuck. They didn't know where to start. So I really hope that this graphic organizer helps you brainstorm some amazing questions that can guide your investigation throughout the unit. So I'm going to go over the entire graphic organizer, and then I'm going to work through some of the components of the graphic organizer with you, and others you're going to do on your own because I don't want to give you too much. I want to let you spread your wings and fly and figure some of this out on your own. So question 1 is identify the problem in this system. Question 2 is asking you what components of the system do you think are related to this problem? And part 3 has our famous question bucket. And it's asking what questions could you ask to figure out why this is happening in the system. And we have the toxic algal bloom inside the yellow circle because that's pretty much the focus here, right? So now we're going to start designing questions, and to help you with that process, I've added some question starters, such as how did, what caused, and why did. Feel free to use them if you find them helpful, but if you have other question starters, you can use those as well. So at this point, I want you to try to do question 1 and 2, or parts 1 and 2 on your own. So you can go ahead and press pause, Try to figure those out on your own and then press play so we can review them together as a team. All right, guys, I hope you got a little bit of a mental exercise there. So let's go ahead and go over parts 1 and 2 together. The first part is asking you to identify the problem in the system, okay? And the problem in the system is the toxic algal bloom in Lake Temescal, which is causing the lake to be unsafe for people and pets, all right? So if you look at this warning sign, it says do not swim or ski, do not drink lake water, keep pets and livestock away, clean fish well and discard guts, avoid areas of scum when boating, right? Those are all indicators that they want you to stay away from the lake because there's a toxin inside the lake. And this is why I wanted you to see the lake from the systems lens. So now that we have that lens, let's go back to our components. Let's revisit them. So we know the problem is a toxic algal bloom. So automatically, one of the components that are related to this problem is algae. Now, many of you might have asked yourselves, what is causing this algae to grow and become toxic, right? So the second component that's related to this problem is the extra nutrients, okay? And the reason I said that was because that's something that was introduced to the lake that wasn't originally there. As our description box states, it comes from outside sources. So in my mind, I thought, usually everything's functioning well unless something from the outside is introduced that throws things off balance. So now we know the problem is a toxic algal bloom in Lake Temescal, right? And we know that some of the components that are related to this are the algae and the extra nutrients. So now you have those tools to generate more questions that can give you additional data to provide more insight on this phenomena that's occurring in Lake Temescal. I'm going to leave that part up to you. I'm going to let you brainstorm. You have a lot of tools in your hands. And I look forward to you guys generating some really amazing questions that will allow you to dig deeper into this phenomena. Good luck, guys.